All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. It is hour number 2, and we are about to hear, I understand, from, if I'm not mistaken, from Marco Rubio, who will be addressing the NRA Leadership Forum down in Nashville, Texas. Tennessee. Nashville, Texas would be a good trick. Okay, it's not going to be Marco Rubio. I understand it's going to be Jeb Bush. So let's watch.
Change the direction of our country. We're on the wrong track. How we tax is stifling the next generation of people that are going to create the high-wage jobs for the future. Our education system is broken and is in desperate need of reform. The DC deficits and debt are out of control, assuring unless we change course that our children and grandchildren will be paying off our problems that we didn't fix. And in the face of rising danger from Russia, from Iran, from ISIS, among others, our president is indecisive and weak, and he's making bad deals and leaving America exposed. Today, I want to focus on a challenge at the heart of the age of Obama. Our government is too big, it is too powerful, and it is too intrusive. We're using the laws of 1934 to regulate the access to the internet. The government has basically taken over our healthcare insurance system. The greatest boom to our economy, 2 existing technologies of horizontal drilling and hydraulic fracking, creating a revolution that will create high-wage jobs, is being opposed each and every day by the Obama administration, trying to regulate it and choke it out of existence. It's a worldview. It's the liberal, progressive worldview of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and Eric Holder and all the other people who want to take the guns out of the hands of the good guys and the hands of the law-abiding citizens. But the Second Amendment is one area where the Obama administration has run into a wall. And that wall is the Kevlar-covered wall of the NRA. Because you all have stayed informed on the issues, you've organized, you've made your voices heard, the Second Amendment is still safe. And that's a good thing, because the Second Amendment is the original Homeland Security Act. Look, the Obama administration, to them, the Constitution is like a breakfast buffet. They pick the amendments they like, and the ones they don't like, they just leave alone. The first, the 10th, the second. But here's the thing. The Bill of Rights is an all-in set of rights. It's a package deal. You honor all of it, you protect all of it, because our liberty is diminished each time we don't. Now we're seeing the Obama administration take on gun rights wherever they can. You know what I'm talking about. If they can't pass a law, they try executive orders. They try to ban guns. They try to ban certain bullets. They try to block banks from lending to small gun shops. It's almost like the Obama administration doesn't realize that the best form of national defense is a nation of free men and women exercising their Second Amendment rights. I have a message for the Obama administration. Why don't you focus more on keeping weapons out of the hands of Islamic terrorists and less on keeping weapons out of the hands of law-abiding Americans? I'm not a newcomer to this issue. I've been a life member of the NRA since 1986. I've been in the trenches with you, and when I was governor, we were passing laws and creating protections for gun owners that set the bar for other states to follow. I will match my record against anyone else's when it comes to the support and defense of the Second Amendment. When you're governor for 8 years, you got a record, and here's mine. I earned an A+ rating from the NRA. I was proud of that. Florida's pro-gun laws have been the model for other states. Today, there are well over 1.3 million law-abiding Floridians with a valid concealed weapons permit. 1.3 million. That's the most in the nation, nearly double that of the second state, which is Texas. Sorry, Governor Perry. lands legislation. This law required that the state replace lost land to development with new lands in the same area. And since that law was passed in 2006, Florida has seen acreage for hunting increase by 159,000 acres. We passed legislation to stop name and shame campaigns. That insidious idea that you get information out that is private so that people are shamed. We had women who had really good reasons to keep their address secret. When you buy a gun, it's not an invitation to anyone, not the government or not the media, to name you and to try to shame you. And in Florida, you cannot do that. We passed legislation to slam the door on gun registration so that state government agencies or private entities can't collect and maintain lists of law-abiding firearm owners. And if anybody, to add some teeth to this, if anybody actually tried to do that, to create a registry, which was done at the time, we created a $5 million fine to make sure that there was, I'm not kidding, teeth behind the law. Florida was one of the first states to make the castle doctrine the law of the land. If someone enters your home and you fear for your safety, you shouldn't have to try to escape first. Before the law was passed, juries were being told that you were supposed to run away from your home rather than defend yourself and your family. So we fixed that. And we built on that concept with the principle that you can stand your ground. In Florida, you can defend yourself anywhere you have a legal right to be if you reasonably believe you're in danger of death or injury or rape or kidnapping. This is a sensible law that other states have adopted because you shouldn't have to choose between being attacked or going to jail. The only thing you should be worried about is keeping yourself and your loved ones safe. When I was governor, we were passing these laws and other states were following our lead. We were often the model. And that's how it should work. The Second Amendment creates a sacred right for each citizen of our great country. But it's through the 10th Amendment for each state to extend that right. What I know for sure is it's not up to the federal government to centralize power in Washington, D.C. When we protect your rights, we save lives. None of us wants to see the loss of a single innocent life. In Florida, we protected people's rights to defend themselves, and at the same time, we saw crime rates drop to levels we hadn't seen since the 1970s. And gun violence dropped by 25%. Safety is always our top concern because life is precious and the stakes are huge. Last year, an armed thug burst into Foster and Pam Coker's home in Jacksonville, Florida. The man threatened Foster at gunpoint. He fired the weapon and it grazed Foster's head. There was a struggle. Foster got his weapon. And you know what? Pam got hers too. They both fired and they stopped the intruder cold. This was done before anything happened to their 7-year-old grandson that was sleeping in a bedroom that morning. And here's what Pam Coker said. If we had not had a gun in our home, we would be dead. Nothing was going to stop him. The sacred right to self-defense saved 3 lives that day, in one state, in one town, in one home. And that's just one story. Each year, law-abiding gun owners are forced to defend themselves with a firearm more than 2 million times. That's a proven fact, and it's the kind of evidence that we need to remember and to repeat. But our work is not done. We can't relax. Here's why. Eric Holder was asked what his greatest failure was as Attorney General. I can think of a few, if he needed any guidance on that. But here's what he said. He was sorry he didn't impose enough gun control on America. If Eric Holder calls that a failure, I'll take it as a win. But this isn't just about the Second Amendment. It's about individual freedom everywhere in this country, the freedom to defend liberty wherever it is threatened. Right after the Declaration of Independence, the American Revolution was in deep trouble. The Congress was run out of Philadelphia. Only 20 delegates at the Congress were meeting. One of them, Sam Adams, refused to give up. Sam Adams spoke to the delegates and said that Congress had a duty to lift up the nation and, quote, encourage them to persevere in this glorious struggle until their rights and liberties shall be established on a rock, end quote. The war turned and our side started to rally. And later, in the debate over the Constitution, he proposed an amendment that would protect three big freedoms: the freedom of the press, protection against unreasonable searches and seizures, and I quote, the Constitution be never construed to authorize Congress to prevent the people of the United States who are peaceable citizens from keeping up their own arms. That one suggestion, that one eloquent suggestion became the first, fourth, and second amendments of our Constitution. One man, one sentence. That's a good day's work for liberty. We need that spirit again in this country. We need to respect our Constitution and the self-governing nature that the founders expected of us. If I go beyond the consideration of the possibility of running to become an active candidate, I will do so with joy in my heart to restore a sense of optimism about the greatest country on the face of the earth. We can solve these problems if we are reminded of our great heritage, the greatest heritage in the greatest country on the face of the earth. Thank you all very much. God bless you all.
I'm Cam Edwards, and this is special NRA news coverage of the 2015 NRA ILA Leadership Forum from the NRA annual meetings in Nashville, Tennessee.